Alright, so before we get started, make sure to look out for Sleeve Chief's amazing restock. They are also dropping the Red Hair collection on Sunday at 8 p.m. Central European Time, but they are restocking more than 50 products alongside that. And I know how you guys love their products, and now you get to pick up something that you maybe missed out on some time back. And plus, you can use my code Shadow for 5% off your entire order. That's as per usual, but they also have bundle deals. So you can save more money by combining the bundles together with my code if you want. And of course, the Red Hair collection looks really good as well. The Playmate is going to have zones for the first time and also standard size sleeves if you want to have bigger sleeves for other card games. So yeah, I think Sunday is a really important day for Sleeve Chief drops. And of course, don't forget to use my link in the description so you're also helping the channel that way. And of course, my code Shadow together with the bundle deals. And now let's go ahead and get started with today's video. We're going to be talking about cards that you should be picking up right now. In my opinion, you know, when tins drop, you kind of need to look at some of the products and see which ones of them are going to go up. And there are a couple of them that are sort of creeping up in price, and there's some other cards that you probably have to have for the next format. So today we're gonna cover all of that. Please make sure when you're done watching the video to share all of your ideas as well, so people can get inspired and pick up some cards, you know, before everyone grabs them and things inevitably go up in price. So yeah, of course, like the video if you like it as well. It really helps the channel and lets me know that you like me doing these types of videos. So the number one card, 100% has to be the first one on the list, is Fenrir. It kind of went up in price. When you look at it, ever since the release, it went up, and now it seems like it's studying at around 13-14 euros or something like that. But this can change. It can just shoot up in price if more decks start playing it, because maybe Kashtira fell off a tiny bit or a lot, but it is still such a good tech card in many different decks. And for example, Tearlament and decks like these where they actually like use the field spell alongside Fenrir as like a tiny engine, not to mention Tearlament's Kashtira, which is a spoiler because that's a card on our list. But these types of decks play this as an engine, and if these decks start to do well, which they probably will in the next format, as soon as they top, you know, Fenrir and some of these cards are going to go up. And in my opinion, it's just so good to have a really solid, you know, tech card that you can play in different decks that's not that expensive. But if you kind of risk it, it might go up and be around 20 euros or even plus. And then at that point, you didn't really save that much money if you end up getting 3 copies. So I would snatch up Fenrir as soon as possible. Maybe you should have done that immediately when the tins drop, but you can never know. So that's going to be the first card on the list. It's just a solid card. And of course, it won't get hit since we don't have a ban list coming in like 2 or 3 months. So you should be good if you invest into Fenrir. Another card that is so funny to me how high it's going from the megatins is Druiswurm. And if you look at the old printing, I did mention Bestios in one of my videos. I think it was budget decks if I'm not mistaken, and the Druiswurms from Darkwing Blast were around 5 euros or something like that. And I will have the graphic for you on the screen so you can see that they are at a higher price point right now. And if you look at the megatin stuff, like don't even look at the Megatin stuff, it is going up. It's really good against Unchained, and obviously it looks really pretty, so people might want to get the Parallel Secret as opposed to the super rare. That probably has something to do with it as well. But yeah, I would suggest you get it, and if you already did, good for you, because again, like, it's just a solid staple to own in my opinion. Moving on to something else, this one is maybe random, but it's Garura. Because I was looking at some cards from the Megatins, and Garura is almost at the same price point that the other Garura is, which was around 10 euros for like the longest time, and then it shot up in price, and then the price went down again. So now both of them are around 7 to 8 euros, but just there's only one thing that needs to happen for them to go up, because just owning Garura, Super Poly, Mud Dragon, all of this is really good, not to mention that you can play it in decks like specifically that will fusion summon into Garura, not just with super polymerization. So yeah, I just feel like that's something you have to get so you don't have to scramble later if it goes up. You know, you have decks like Tearlaments, etc. that are going to be good in the next format in my opinion. So I would suggest if you see a card like that that's almost at the same price as the old printing, you just kind of gotta snatch a copy, at least one, you know, and then just have it ready. So yeah, Garura is the next one. And moving on to other cards. We're going to be talking about Daruma Karma Cannon. I figured I would mention it, and I will put a picture of the graph on the screen so you can see. It's really funny. It was like kind of low. It just shot up. It's sort of staying there, but it's around €4 or something like that. If you look at the other printing, also around 3 to 4. So yes, the card is really good because right now what we're focusing on is trying to find ways to out Unchained without actual like destruction. And this card is really good because it just forces the opponent to do an action and it's not even destruction, and just overall it's nice against other decks as well. Just has really good coverage across the board, and Labyrinth can play it as part of the main deck, which this is another deck that's probably going to be quite solid moving forward. Or you can use it in tandem with Triple Tactic Thrust because it's a target for it, being a normal chap card, and Thrust is going to see play quite a lot. And you want to have, at least in my opinion, in your side deck, maybe one card that's good as a target going first for Thrust if you play it, which could be Impermanence, but the Daruma Karma Cannon is like a solid choice in my opinion as well, because if you look at the book effect, it's nice. You know, book cards are still going to be good, if not in the main deck, at least in the side deck, and this pretty much does the same thing on top of the other effect. So yeah, it's just get it, you know, when a card is like €3 to €4 or €2 to €3 or something like that, just get a playset and have it, maybe even get more and like get rid of it later if it goes up in price. That's maybe the thing you should be doing. But moving on, the next card I want to talk about is Hell Shaddoll Hollow. So this one is, I don't know, it's kind of funny because it has this one printing. It never seemed really good, but then Tearlament started using it because it has a really nice effect of being able to send cards for card effect depending on the number of attributes. So with Tearlament, I think it's like able to not just send one, it's able to actually, you know, help the deck. And I think that's really good. So yes, the Hell Shaddoll Hollow is going up, obviously because of only having one printing. It is not that expensive. It's like around €2, but I figured I would cover the card if you want to play Tearlament, because it is, again, like I keep saying, probably going to be a really good choice moving forward. And especially because from Age of Overlord, the Horus cards are coming and you can play this with Tearlament if you want. And then it's just going to happen that a random card like Hell Shaddoll Hollow will just jump up in price. And I think I have a picture of an OCG list which, you know, incorporates both of these. So if we end up building that way, you might want to look into getting this random card that's maybe going to spike. So there's that. And staying on topic of Tearlaments, Tearlament Kashtira is going to be the next one. It's kind of weird. I'm not entirely certain what to say because Photon Hypernova is the set that wasn't getting a reprint in the Mega Tints, so I'm not sure where they will give those cards reprints. Like the Pressure Planet would probably need a reprint, and there's other cards from that set as well, like, I don't know, Rindbram, etc. But yeah, the Tearlaments Kashtira is going up because everyone is suspecting Tearlaments to be good. And if those cards don't get a reprint anytime soon, which they might not, you know, I really don't know where they would get a reprint. If you have an idea, please let me know. But if they don't, and they go even higher, then there's literally no chance for you to play Tearlaments, especially if they reprint everything from Power of the Elements and then Perle Rhino gets a reprint as well, then Tearlament is going to be really, really accessible. And what always happens is that the one card with only one printing is going to shot up in price, just like it happened with Big Welcome Labyrinth. So to avoid that, I would suggest you pick up the card right now because, yeah, Tearlament is probably going to be good. I keep saying it is the theme of today's video. But moving on to the last card, we're going to be talking about the Gravekeeper's Inscription. This one is a little weird because you can't play it in every single deck. You're essentially going to be shutting off your plays if you use it in the incorrect deck. But if you have a way of, you know, going around that, playing around that, if you don't really get hurt by this card, it's really good against Unchained because it's like Abyss Dweller in the form of a spell card. So this card, you know, people are like, you know, they clocked it, they realized it's gonna be good and it's gonna go up in price. It's around €8 or something like that. And as soon as people notice this, you know, it's kind of probably gonna get worse, especially if a list tops, now that we have Dortmund almost around the corner. If a list tops with this in it, it's probably gonna go even higher. So keep that in mind if you're playing that type of deck. And yeah, that's actually gonna round off the video. If you enjoyed it and if you have your own ideas, of course, share them in the comments like I said before. Again, keep an eye out for the Sleeve Sheath restock so you can grab your favorite products with my code SHADOW for 5% off, and you combine it with the bundle deals. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.